But in the meantime...
On part 1 of Chemical Romance, we demonstrated how Syrian rebels, backed by the United States, were entering Syria through Turkey's southern border. It wasn't long before a group of extremists were busted, chemical weapons in hand.
They are suspected of having links with the al-Nusra Front, which is the al-Qaeda-affiliated Syrian rebel group.
As these rebels were caught with chemical weapons, the Western allies paid little attention to the mounting evidence, suggesting that these rebels consisted mostly or mainly of extremists. The opinion piece titled, "America's Campaign Against Putin's War Crimes Can't Ignore Syria."
A just, rules-based international order.
In my home country of Syria, Russian President Vladimir Putin's intervention to prop up murderous dictator Bashar al-Assad has enabled the regime to torture and slaughter tens of thousands of political prisoners. The author calling it part and parcel of the struggle against Putin's assault on the rules-based international order.
In a
The
rules-based international order
that's consistent with our interests.
He continues, America's forceful response to Putin's atrocities in Ukraine is commendable, but Assad's war crimes, often aided and abetted by Putin, have been a daily occurrence for over a decade. It's time for the United States to stop ignoring Assad's brutality. The writer also mentions the Syrian revolutionary or opposition forces, rebel groups infected with extremists, such as the al-Nusra Front. Mosa Khatib, seen here being apparently laughed at during a meeting with the Vice Biden, was the head of the Syrian National Coalition and a supporter of the al-Nusra Front. While everyone in the West, over a certain age, knows the full story on Iraqi chemical weapons, during the early years of the war in Syria, chemical weapons were used as a pretext to give better weaponry and funding to rebels attempting to overthrow the sitting government of Bashar al-Assad. The Syria Transition Support Act of 2013 lent these tools to rebel factions, many of which were later revealed as extremist, some engaging in ghoulish acts such as massacres, later blamed on the government of Syria.
Vile, despicable massacre against innocent children, women, shot at point-blank range by regime thugs.
And a particularly disgusting act that involved a US-backed rebel eating an organ out of a dead Syrian soldier's body. A fact that Russian President Putin raised, much to the chagrin of then British Prime Minister David Cameron, who was very visibly upset when this barbaric act was mentioned in his presence.
I believe you will not deny the fact that one hardly should back those who kills their enemies and eat their organs and all that is filmed and shot. Do you want to support these people? Do you want to supply arms to these people?
After asking for NATO's assistance, Ukraine President Zelensky makes the claim that chemical weapons have been used against citizens in white phosphorus shells. Military police captain Tobias Elwood states, "The allegations represent a despicable pretext for Russia to justify its own biological or chemical attack." Just days before, President Biden warned Russia not to use chemical weapons, and right after that, NATO chimed in, saying that it wouldn't get involved unless chemical weapons were used. Then suddenly the claim is made that chemical weapons had been used. Iraqi and Libyan chemical weapons in 02 and 03. Syrian chemical weapons in 13. ration chemical weapons in 22. Western-backed extremists in Syria and in Libya and in Pakistan and in Egypt and in, well, Western-backed neo-Nazis in the Ukrainian military and the street patrol, with powerful partners to make a president, or to make him believe he's a president, rather than a conduit for larger plans. A war in Ukraine, money, NATO, respect.